Hi, and welcome back to PDQ-PD. Today I'm going to show you a cool little feature in Google that you may be aware of, you may not be aware of, but it's pretty easily to add on if you're not aware. One of the things about the Google environment is for the base product you get a lot of simple things but not a lot of the advanced features. If you're like me, when you start typing you pretty much use the standard font that's there, and you see I have a Google Doc in front of me with just a simple sentence, and I'm going to highlight this sentence. And then right here where it says Arial, in mine, this is my preset, there's a down arrow next to it, and it gives you a list of fonts. Now you see, I may have more fonts than you because I've already done this tech tip before, but you probably have just a basic set of fonts, and you look at those and say, well, that's fine, I'll select one of those. But what you may not know is by going down here to More Fonts, you have an option of adding from a lot of different fonts to the fonts that you use. Now you see as I'm scrolling here, there's a list of a lot of different fonts. Some of them are in blue and have a check mark next to them, and those are ones that I have used in the past and added to my fonts. And some of them are not, which means I haven't used those yet. And I can scroll down. This goes on a long way. It'll go down to the bottom and then it'll keep scrolling and keep scrolling. If I see something I like and I want to add it to my font, it's pretty simple. I click on it and you see it adds it over here to the My Fonts category. It's a pretty simple process. If you decide you don't want one, you just click on it again and it takes it away. Just as simple as that. In this list of fonts, you can sort them. Right now I have them sorted by popularity. That's probably good if you're just looking for something cool. But one thing I like to do is you can display the fonts by all, display handwriting, monospace, and serif and sans serif. That's pretty convenient because if depending on the task that you're using the fonts for, you will want to perhaps search by serif and sans serif. And then over here you can sort by alphabetical or the added or the trending or popular. Again, you find the font that you want, or you find a font that you want. Click on the font and it adds it to your fonts. And then you can click OK. Now when you go over to your list of fonts, you see those fonts that you've added are there. And there's the one that I just added, the Black Ops 1. Simply click on that and it adds your font. That's a way to add fonts to your list of fonts so you have a bigger selection. Now very quickly, this is in a Google Doc, and I'm going to go to I've already made a slide deck here, just a simple slide, and I typed in a sentence here. The same thing applies over here. You have, now this one it hasn't updated yet because I had it open already, but you can choose from those fonts, make it whatever you want. And in a Google Sheet, you can do the same thing. If you type in a text box or in a cell, then you can go to the font, and then you have all these fonts that are your options. And in this, you can even change fonts within a cell. You can select the font that you want and pick a different type, and hopefully maybe I can zoom in on this a little bit that you can see it. You can select different fonts from within a cell. So that's a pretty easy way to add some functionality to your Google domain, get some cool fonts in there, and dress up your documents a little bit. Hope this is helpful to you, and as always, if you have any suggestions for future PDQ-PDs, please let me know. Have a great day.